good evening. Welcome to another edition of Talking with Forest Park. I'm Jason Grzgorek, Waycross Community Media's Government Access Coordinator, bringing everyone together here at the round table. Glad you could join us. I'm very fortunate to have with me, of course, City Manager Ray Hodges. Ray, glad you could join us.
Glad to be back again.
We have got a full table for a full half hour here. Getting started, let's get into the depth of things. Who'd you bring with us this week?
Well, Steve Denny from Woodenwood School District. I think he's the Executive Director of Accountability and Business Affairs.
Yes, sir.
And our own Dave Biskine, our Public Works Director.
Yeah.
He oversees our public works for streets and parks and water, stormwater management, and a number of other things. So we got a full team here today.
As we like to say, the ... of the world here. Well, we brought everyone together today because there's something new, but yet something old that's going on at the city building and the city complex, so to speak. That's the tennis courts. We just finished that project up. Dave, how did that go?
Great. The weather cooperated this summer. We had a tight window for construction because we only had, with the school district's season ended in the spring, pretty much we had to have everything organized and ready to go, and the contractors, everything, we were able to pull everything off, and right on schedule. So can't be more pleased.
Steve, when you got things going with that, you know, obviously it is the city's courts, but you obviously at the school district utilize it. Right. What kind of partner? I mean, obviously you have a great partnership together. What was the deal that went on that said, "Hey, let's get this rolling"?
No, we do have a long-standing history of working together, and Dave approached me, I want to say a couple of years ago, and this started. We started talking about it a while ago, and the truth is, our athletes utilize that court a lot, and they have been fantastic, and our PE classes as well. So it's not just limited to the athletic program; it's also the curricular side of things too. But they've been fantastic in allowing our students to have, basically allocated time and allowance to use the courts for home meets, tennis meets, practices. And so they've been so generous. When he approached, it was kind of a no-brainer, honestly, and so much more affordable than building our own court, for example. If this arrangement weren't there, the costs would be quite a bit higher.
And that was something, Dave, that you and I were discussing earlier. Had the campuses of both the city building and the school not been in the same vicinity, we would be talking a different whole structure here.
Yeah, I mean, it's right there. It makes too much sense. And we not just the tennis courts, we also share the other facilities like the softball field. Sure. And that goes back years too. So even before I became Public Works Director in the mid-'90s, there had been a relationship because you're just right there. Now, if they were separated by even a few blocks, it probably wouldn't make sense. But the campuses are right side by side. So it's unique, but yet at the same time, it's a win-win for both sides.
For those who haven't been out to the new old courts, what actually did we do on these courts to make them look so fantastic?
Well, a total rehab for the most part. We didn't completely rip them out because we didn't want to do that for the fact that you don't want to lose the total base. But pretty much we had to go in there. There have been some maintenance issues with some cracking and stuff because courts, like anything else, will start to age. We had to put some under drains in because of the way that the topography lays out there. So we're hoping that the water that was underneath there was not going to sit and cause those problems for the future. So that was one of the first things. But then we had to kind of strip off the old, and some of the areas we had to re-level some of the areas so they wouldn't have major ponding and stuff. But other than that, it was just new post, and the resurfacing, which was several parts. It came together and it just snaps. Now, when you go out there, we couldn't be more pleased.
Yeah.
And the fact that we were able to change the color coding from the red and stuff that we had out there. We went with the school colors, and it happens to be even the U.S. Tennis Association colors, but we said, we got to have that, and it worked out good. And then the one other thing we did add is on the back courts, 5 and 6, is the new craze, the pickleball. And so we're trying that on a couple of courts. So, and that all is just a little additional striping and stuff. So, with the senior center being right
now,
there.
Dave, maybe you better talk about that a little further because some people may not know, did we just add pickleball or did we lose some tennis courts, and I think that's real key of how we put this together.
Yeah, we didn't lose anything when it comes to the tennis courts. I mean, there's certain restrictions and stuff that when you go to do striping and stuff, so there's no confusion of the lines and stuff like that. But it was pretty much of a little bit of an addition on two of our courts, that the colors are just a little bit different, but yet you can play this game. It's a miniature size. It's kind of a pickleball. I'm not even sure everything. I've yet to play it, but it looks like it's going to be fun. It's kind of ping pong, badminton on a tennis court, and probably somewhere out there, pickleball people are going to say, no, that's what it is. But,
I hear they are very protective about their sport here.
but it's kind of a craze that's going on, not only down south in Florida, some of the retirements, but also up here in Cincinnati, it's taken off. And so we're going to give it a try on a couple of courts, and I think it's going to be interesting.
And what better place? You have a place here.
Yeah, well, it's right next to the senior center,
Right.
so maybe there's some of the seniors out there would like to try to, take that on. But we have a guy that works for us part-time that's kind of the guru around the area. And he says he could do some clinics out there, so we're looking forward to that use too.
And how old are the courts, actually?
Well, they were here before I got here.
Okay,
And
I knew
Rick
that
and
they
me-
were older.
Yeah, and I started in '89. So, but we redid them once. When I first got on board, it was like '91, '92, somewhere around there. And so, they're like anything else, or like roads. I mean, they're going to age, and you're going to have to do some maintenance, which we always did. And that's why Steve and I got
Right.
together years ago, and we were talking about sharing some of the costs of the maintenance. And that was working good, but every year it just seemed like with the winters and stuff we have around here, we were losing some of the coating and stuff like that. And we said, we got to do something different, and it's time to rehab these. And the timing was right, and it worked out well.
And one of the key things to appreciate too is the tennis courts make a great presentation of Forest Park.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's not, just the fact that we could redo the tennis courts, but we could work with the school district. We could better present the community, and it's a wonderful time to see the kids out there, especially when they play their little matches out there and everything. And we have a lot of visitors from outside the community that are seeing Forest Park for the first time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We were talking about the partnership, and Ray or Steve, you can answer this. You've had this long-term relationship. It obviously stems far greater than just tennis courts. Are there other avenues that you're going to probably explore that maybe need to have a little bit of a partnership similar to the tennis courts that maybe down the pike or are in the works currently?
Would you like to take that one?
Well, I'll let you comment on it,
jump in.
but we work in a lot of areas, so it's no one particular area, but we are currently working very closely with our environmental awareness program. And again, Steve, I think you can comment further on that, but that has been a longstanding relationship, but it's more active right now.
There are quite a few collaborations between the city and the school district. And I think the biggest thing we have in common is we love the community. I mean, our core business is education. Their core business is a whole variety of other things. But we share that in common for sure. And the particular item he mentioned, he touched on a couple things. One is a shared services or shared facilities agreement. We do share facilities, and that has been very beneficial to, I think, both parties over time. We also had a collaboration between the environmental program and Wright Gwynn with City of Forest Park, and he's been a fantastic partner on all kinds of projects over the last, I'd say, decade or more. And most recently, we had a collaborative effort with him at our high school stadium to redo some of the containers that, like the courts, like the roads, like so many things in the infrastructure, are wearing out. So we replaced them in a cooperative effort with the City of Forest Park Environmental Awareness to be recycling and waste next to each other. And they're nice looking containers. I think they'll really, capture kind of the spirit of the community and the school, as well as the value that I think this community places on recycling and being environmentally friendly. That's a value that I think is core to the City of Forest Park.
And I know it's important to point out that because of that cooperation, we not only have waste containers, but as you mentioned, we have the recycling containers.
Right.
But they're not just containers, they're color-coordinated containers. So people may not pick up on the level of cooperation, but that's something that should be a takeaway from our discussion here, that there's a tremendous amount being done. There's a lot of money being saved, and there's a lot of work being accomplished through cooperation.
Absolutely.
We've had some winners here in the recent past that you never know, and they really don't have a salt barn to store their salt.
Right.
And we've teamed up a couple times. It's like they can get the salt, and sometimes they couldn't. And it's like, because they just need it for the parking lots, and it's like we got some barns and stuff, so we've assisted a couple times in that regard. So they were in a bind.
Absolutely.
And so they called, normally we got this taken care of. Hey, can you help us out a little bit? So, hey, no problem.
Yeah.
Would you say your cooperative efforts are very unique to other areas? I mean, we would like to say that because it is Forest Park, it is our home. But as we're discussing, these are definite advantages I see that are probably not shared in other communities.
I think that's reflected in Governor Kasich's push a few years ago for shared services. You have all these municipalities, all these school districts, all these villages and counties, and there's so many governmental entities in Ohio. He really pushed to have them collaborate. And I know of other collaborations, but I think they are limited when you look at, say, there's 49 school districts just in Southwest Ohio.
Right.
And I know many of those people that are my counterparts in those districts, and I don't think they have the same arrangements that we're fortunate and blessed enough to have here.
And with Ray leading the charge and you taking over, the collaborative efforts are amazing. Again, we're just talking tennis courts here, but we're also talking, we'll be bringing Ray Gwynn on here shortly,
Right.
and you've already mentioned the big push there.
Right.
Now you're bringing that recycling effort that the city has so graciously taken charge of, is now making that integrative effort.
Right.
Do you obviously see this cooperative effort continuing? You don't see this ever.
No, I hope
yet.
never. I hope it never gets to a point where we're not collaborating like that. I think this makes a lot of sense. As Mr. Hodges pointed out, it makes a ton of sense for the taxpayers. This actually saves valuable tax dollars. Instead of two tennis courts side by side, we have found a way to very mutually beneficially share a court, and so a system of courts. And I think that's an example of how collaborating actually helps the taxpayers.
Correct.
So.
And then with the way that the project worked, you had to work between the end of school to the summer, and you didn't see any disruption, so to speak, of the use of any of the courts or anything that the public was in an outcry or anything like that?
Well, we had to post signs early. We had to educate and communicate. We were trying to get the word out like we do on any other projects and stuff. And so people understand. It's like, okay, no one really likes to even see road construction until it's over.
Correct.
But once it's over, it's like, oh, this is great. So, and I think that's, we really didn't. And they weren't shut down for that long, a couple months,
Right.
and because we had to hit the two seasons, and fortunately, we talked and say, hey, tell your, if you're having clinics or coaches and everything else, anybody planning to use them, they're going to have to find another place temporarily, and everybody's cooperating.
But it's a compliment to Dave Bisking and representative of the outstanding work that he does for the city and for the community. This is a project that had to follow a very strict schedule and time frame. He went out there, he put the schedule together, he kept everybody on pace with it, and we got it done. So it appears seamless, but there's a little more expertise that goes in the background to make this thing work. So we thank Dave for all the work that he's done on it.
And you hit the right times with the weather. I mean, because if we were working on it now, getting those last bits, I mean, you guys would be sweating out there.
Yeah, there was a lot, that you can't work with that kind of product, especially when you're painting courts and stuff and sealing them up. If the rain is out there at all, in the forecast, in which we had a few of those days.
Oh, absolutely.
But you work that into your schedule.
Sure.
So.
Right, you work it into your schedule, recognize it. There you go. We were timing that. Jason.
I knew it.
So this will be one of the highlights. But we got dozens and dozens of projects underway. This is just one of them, but I'm glad that we were able to work together so well and that the project went so smoothly. And everyone that has seen the courts like it, appreciate it, and are thankful for the work that was accomplished through our cooperation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. If you haven't taken a look at them, please go take a look. They are stunning. They're absolutely amazing. I mean, the photos that we're showing here and the video that we're showing through here, it doesn't do you effort until you actually go and take your time to go out there. Before we depart and bring on new, Dave, things that are going on, we brought Rebecca on during the spring, and she made sure everyone knew about the Chipper Chipper program. It is coming to an end for the 2016 season. season. For those who are still interested, can get themselves in. We're still offering up
Yes.
until the end of September.
The free
correct?
service that we offer is every other week in this, we're wrapping up this week's program. For August, August 22nd through that week is the next go-around. And then we have 2 times in September, which is the week of Labor Day, where actually if you're on that Monday schedule, we'll come get you on Tuesday. So the 6th, September 6th that week, and then we wrap up the 19th. So that'll be it.
And one of the reasons why we want to mention this again to the listening audience is they should look at the schedule and just follow the schedule, because sometimes people want to put the stuff out and they don't know the schedule, and it makes a big difference in how long their stuff is sitting at the curb, because just as I mentioned earlier, we follow a pretty strict schedule. So weather permitting, we're going to hit that schedule for that week. And you don't want to have your stuff out a week too soon or a week too late. Just follow the schedule.
And you can go to our website and you look on the homepage, and it's under services, selected services, the chipper program. Just look for that, or go to the Public Works section, and you can look, and it's got the details.
And one thing I want Dave to comment as we kind of wrap this section up, is the concept of the program, that is a brush pickup, a light brush pickup. Comment on that a little bit, Dave.
Define what we're dealing with here.
It's the occasional limbs that fall out, and if you got to do some light trimming and stuff like that, that's fine. But it's not a total tree service, total tree removal. We just can't. There's close to 6,000 single-family residents that we could possibly have to stop at the curb, and to keep it the service going and stuff, we can only stop for about 10 minutes. I think there's some people that are understanding it's like just remove the tree, sit at the curb, and the city will remove it. We just cannot do that. We try to encourage everyone to, when you're paying for the service, they can also take it away.
Right.
Pretty much.
The tree service.
The
When
tree
you-
service,
Right, when you hire a
correct.
tree removal company,
Just
have them remove the tree.
Yeah, and we're very limited, but if they can stick it out, the other thing they can help us is when they got the cut-ins, try to stick it out to the curb so that we can just pull it out. And instead of just all bunched together, no root balls on bushes. We can take the bushes, but make sure there's no dirt or anything like that. No firewood, no regular firewood. Now, some people will stick it out there and usually disappears because people that need the firewood.
Well, somebody's going to
But we're
take
not-
it, but it's
yeah.
not going to be you.
Right, and please, you don't have to bind it up with ropes or wires or anything like that. That doesn't work either.
Well,
And
it's gonna-
it slows the process down.
Slows it really does.
And it doesn't. It also could, if something were to
it's-
happen, it could also harm the equipment that you're using as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that's going to put you back as well.
Yeah, and that sometimes happens. The weather, you can have breakdowns. We just tell people to be patient. If we don't get you on your scheduled day, you can call in and we will answer your question, but we'll get you the next day.
Sure.
So.
So just remember, forestpark.org, you can get that information there, or also on the bulletin board system here on Channel 23. Gets you all the information as well. Well, I'm glad that we were able to take this portion, and we're going to take a small break and show you what's going on here in the fair city of Forest Park, and we'll be back with Wright Gwynn here on Talking with Forest Park.
Jermaine Hill from your Forest Park Fire Department. How I got involved with We Thrive, Hamilton County Public Health approached us about doing projects that are community related. The fire department, of course, was all in. It's all about the community. The fire department, we're here to serve. We want to be servant leaders. Anything that the community wants, we try to provide. It's not just about fire and EMS. That's what we signed up for, of course, but it's all about community relation. As a firefighter, I want to see more people from Forest Park be a part of the fire department. I want the students at the high school to become employees of the city, because if you guys know the city and you know your neighbors and everything, it just means that much more as far as better patient care, expeditiously getting to those details, knowing the city, the little ins and outs and things like that. It just works better. Over 70% of our student body is below the poverty line. With poverty, obesity follows, so we wanted to do something that we could immediately impact the community. So we started initiatives like the Firefighter Fitness Drill, where we do an obstacle course centered around firefighter activity. We give out packets talking about health and diet and exercise, etc., and also the We Thrive initiatives.
My name is Rebecca Evers. I'm a police officer with the City of Forest Park. We've started a new position this year called the Community Response Specialist, and in that I get the privilege to go out, talk with people, meet with people, interact with them, and just try to show the community a different side to the police force, show them the caring side, and to get more involved with them. And when Jermaine invited me to the We Thrive initiative, it was the perfect opportunity to be able to get out, interact with the people, and a healthier community is good for everyone. It's good for the fire department, it's good for the police department, it's good for the community.
Well, I'm Michelle Sneed. I am the owner of Fit Life Training Center. I became involved probably about a few months ago, but it's something that I've been looking to do to get involved inside the community. Outside of being a parent in the community and a resident in the community, I've helped out before at the schools when they had a fit camp after school. I taught a little cardio kickboxing to some students. So childhood obesity is really an important thing, and just really family health. The children, they have to learn from the adults, and sometimes the adults have to learn from the children.
The Fitness Boot Camp Saturdays are sponsored by Interact for Health, and we are a part of the We Thrive Forest Park group. If you are interested in becoming a part of We Thrive, or if you just want to, if you have some ideas, if you want to learn what we're talking about, if you want to direct us in some way, we have our meetings every last Wednesday of the month. But the meetings start at 3 o'clock and we end around 5 o'clock. So every last Wednesday of the month, come see us. You can call me, Jermaine Hill, at 513-595-5291, and I can give you exact dates and tell you about all the exciting stuff that we're doing with We Thrive.
My name is Suzanne Sixel. I'm coming from Minnesota to join Star Touring and Riding here for Star Days, and we're doing Feed the Children, a fundraiser to serve the communities where we gather together every year to help out and to just serve the community. I have been riding motorcycles since 2008 together with my husband. I did a class, a motorcycle safety class, so that I feel safe on the road. And we are doing tours every year, a couple thousand miles, to see this beautiful country. And I just enjoy getting together with my fellow motorcyclists and to be able to help out and to just paint a different picture of motorcyclists. We sometimes feel that we have this negative image, and we just try to help people understand that we are moms and dads, we have families, and we care about families, and we like to help to provide for families who are lacking the things that we have.
Actually, it's Star Touring and Riding, and it's actually incorporated. It's actually an organization, and it's broken down into chapters, probably through about, I'm going to say 35 states, and there are some international chapters. I bought my first Yamaha in '99, but when I upgraded in 2004, I decided to join Star Touring and Riding and see what it was about. And so I've been with the Maryland chapter for 11 years now.
And welcome back. We have been joined by the ever-popular Wright Gwynn from Forest Park Environmental. Glad you can join us, Wright.
Always a pleasure.
There's always something new and important going on. We did talk about the fine cooperative collaboration that you've done with the schools and the recycling and trash receptacles. They look fabulous, absolutely.
I haven't had a chance to see them, but I've seen some what they're supposed to look like.
Sure.
And I'm really excited. The stadium, I've been working with Forest Park for 25 years or something, and I've been looking at the stadium. I know a lot of materials go through and gets thrown away, and it's always been a sore spot. And when Steve Denny said, I would really like to develop some kind of recycling program over there, I just said, you're the man. You're the man. You're the man. And so we did have some discussions, and we not only did we work with the schools, but also the Forest Park gardeners.
Oh, really?
Yes, they had some money available, and they wanted to get more involved with the schools, and so they volunteered to pay for this we have a 5 by 6 foot informational sign that's going to go right up at the entranceway of the stadium.
Oh,
and
okay.
It's going to tell people about that we have a new recycling program and identify the 2 different containers. And the Forest Park gardeners are paying for that sign.
Wow.
Right, and so I'm paying for the recycling containers, Steve's paying for the trash containers, and the gardeners are paying for the sign. So it's a great win-win-win. I mean, all 3
absolutely.
organizations. Yeah, it was fun to put together.
It's interesting that you're saying, after as many years as we've had the new stadium, that this is now the time that we started talking about. What do you think the delay was? I mean, I obviously said you've been like, oh, why? Why now?
Oh, there's probably the school had a lot of things on their agenda.
Sure.
And they had to work through those things. And it is a new stadium, so they had to work out all the kinks with the new stadium. And I think things take time. And Steve, I've known Steve when he was the principal over at one of the schools. And he allowed the environmental program to go in and do all kinds of programs. He was very open and willing to let us try things. We even did the land lab over at school and built the land lab, and he was really excited about that. So Steve got into a position with in charge of all the facilities and things of that nature, and he's taken the ball and has run with it. And it's very exciting. So I think everything had to come to this point.
And we're here today.
Forest Park is still, building on our record as far as trying to recycle more and provide more opportunity to recycle. And I think the school is doing the same thing. He's doing a lot of recycling within the schools as well.
And you were integral to that as well with bringing in a lot of you've seen them, the recycling containers for extra, I don't want to say extra cash, but they always do help you. The dumpsters and everything.
For the recycling, we've worked out a deal with him on that. But he's gone in and he has gotten containers for individual classrooms.
So we've actually gone one step even further.
And he's also interested in the cafeteria and all the materials that gets thrown away in the cafeteria. How can we divert some of those materials from the landfill and use them in different ways? And so he is putting his finger in a lot of different things right now, and it's very exciting to see where he's going to go with it.
When we listen to things like this, and we always bring it on, Forest Park always taking the charge, basically, on something that is a very hot topic, being recycling and reuse of items. And again, you don't hear a lot of these great innovative things that are coming about in other cities, but Forest Park obviously takes the charge to do so.
Right, and I think one of the things that we need to recognize is we've talked about just a couple of programs here. Wright has a number of programs, and he has some new programs coming out. He has some programs that not only help people in the concept of recycling, but also saving money. And I want Wright to talk about that and share with our listening audience some of the money-saving programs that he is putting in place.
You can start from the
I don't
very
know.
beginning.
I like that. I think I'll just go home. That's a nice introduction.
Well,
but people want to know what they're getting into.
People want to know. And maybe as part of the lead-in, Wright, you can talk about the fact that this is not just for low-income people. We got some programs that, income is not the factor. So,
well, we have been fortunate to develop some partnerships with other organizations that benefit our residents and also the business community as well. The one I think you're talking about is our energy efficiency program. We have been developing programs along these lines since 2011.
I was going to say, it's been about 5 years now.
Right, and we started it with the Greater Cincinnati Energy Alliance, and we worked with them for about 2.5 years, and they kind of grew, and we grew with them, and they brought in expertise. We helped subsidize the cost. They helped subsidize the cost, so everybody kind of won. And the homes that we worked on, we did about 179 homes. We winterized them and brought in energy efficient appliances and furnaces and things of that nature. And that worked really well, but they went their own way and we went ours, and then we brought in people working cooperatively.
Yes.
And they work with a lower income population. There is an income level requirement. You know, you have to be below it. And so we brought them in last year, and we've done around 40 homes. And we help subsidize the improvements for the homes. They have money that they leverage to help pay, and the residents, since they're on a lower income level, they don't have to pay anything.
It's true.
They just have to qualify and fill out the necessary paperwork.
The hard
and
part.
The hard, which is really, the hard
is.
part. And then they bring in, and people working cooperatively brings in schedules, everything comes in. It takes a day, no more than 2. That's how they work, and then they're gone. And then we help just pay for the cost. So we have been doing that for about a year now, but we're missing the people above that income line. We had people working cooperatively working below the line, but we had a segment of the population that didn't until we worked with there's a company called Empower Gas and Electric.
Okay.
They worked with or are working with the city of Cincinnati. And what they do is, I call it winterizing light.
Okay.
They go in, they do an audit, they find out what you need, and they will do insulation, air sealing. They will put in a smart thermostat, and they will also, if you need energy efficient lighting, they'll give you some LED light bulbs.
Okay.
So that's all it is. They're going to insulate, air seal, thermostat, and lighting. And that, you know, that's the low-hanging fruit, but it really makes a big difference in your bills when it comes really hot summers and really cold winters. And so we're starting that. We just got everything approved with the city council. We signed the contract, and my contact's on vacation.
Of course.
Right, but he's coming back next week, and so we've got all the promotional material ready. We're going to talk about a startup date. We're hoping to start really pushing this out the 1st of September or right after Labor Day.
Which is really the great time, because the hot season of summer should be just ending. We're not into the coolness of fall and winter yet, so you've got it ready so that you get the best of both worlds when the time hits.
Right. And so we put some money aside, so we are going to subsidize some of the costs. Empower has a Duke Energy rebate, so that will help pay off the cost. But the people with the higher income level, they'll have to pay approximately 1/3 of the cost.
Okay, but even still, that's better than
if
they would have to do it on their own.
They'll save around 2/3 of what the cost would be.
Sure.
And then they get lower energy bills.
So there's a
And
savings
so
there.
they'll quickly make up whatever they paid out by the money that they save on their energy bills. So we're real excited about that. I'm interested to see how well that works.
And of course, we're dealing with the homes. We still have the tree program going on. I know there's a few trees left, correct?
Reforesting Forest Park, right. We do not have any more red buds.
Okay.
What we do is we subsidize 75% of the cost, so residents only have to pay 25% of the cost. And these trees are 6 foot, or approximately 6 foot.
They're a very substantial tree.
Nice trees.
Yes.
Nice trees. And so we have a few serviceberry left, about 3. And then we have some seedless sweet gums and some sugar maples. We have about 10 to 15 of those left.
I knew we were on the low end here.
We're getting to the end. We're getting to the end. And all these that are ordered will be delivered to the house the first week in October.
Not installed, but at least
No,
I was gonna say,
no,
make sure
well,
you stipulate
I
there.
I will email everybody and let them know they need to have the hole ready, the size of the hole, and good luck. We'll put it by the hole. We're not
Sure,
gonna put it
we're
in
not
the
going to
hole.
put it in the hole.
Right, right. And there's another partnership I wanted to mention
Sure.
that we've just recently developed. We do have this nature summer camp, day camp program.
Yes.
And we have had kind of problems. We have maybe 4. We pay for half of the cost, the residents pay for half. And we usually get about an average of 4 kids to go to the zoo or to the great parks of Hamilton County. And so for years I've been trying to figure it out. And then my mother, of all things, said, well, why don't you there's got to be kids with needs. And so I got in touch with the Hamilton County Adoption and Foster Care Services.
Okay.
And I said, would you be interested in developing a partnership? And you pay half, I pay half, and the kids go free. And they were very excited. So we had a little bit, we sent, I think, 2 kids this year because it was such
Well, it's just
so quick.
yes.
So quick. But we're gonna meet back up in the first part of March. We're gonna identify the kids that are in the Green Hills and Forest Park area, and then we're gonna approach to see if they want to go to camp, at day camp, at those 2 organizations. So I'm really excited about that as well.
What a great partnership to be able to think about, for those who would probably not have the opportunity to do such wonderful things, because our parks here are wonderful, and the zoo is top notch.
Oh, you can't
so
beat
you
the
can't.
zoo. Yeah.
How can you?
It's
a win-win on that.
It is a win-win. It is a win-win.
Good job, Mama. Mama, right.
Mama. No.
Mama's always right. There we go.
Well, it's the adoption and foster care services. They didn't need to do this. They didn't have to agree to do this. So, you should give them the kudos for saying, yeah, this is a good idea. Let's give it a shot. See what happens.
And are there any other programs that you are completely, I know you have them all in your mind, but what's going on that's actually bearing fruit, so to speak?
Well, we will have a used tire collection drive come September 17th, and we'll be in the high school parking lot.
Okay.
So we always have that about that time of year, and we collect around 150 tires, but we get them out of the driveways, we get them out of the garages and stuff, and they're very hard to get rid of. And we're really pushing. I don't know if a lot of people have gotten these. I don't know if the camera can get this or not. But we did send out a brochure the first part of the summer to describe our 2 solid waste programs and how they could save money if they recycle a little bit more. So if people have not received these, we send a bulk mail, so you don't know when they're going to really go out.
That's true.
But Rumpke helped us develop this, and they paid for the mailing, so they should get a lot of credit for helping us put this together. It's a very professional piece of material. So if you haven't received that, give me a call. I'll send it to them, and they'll learn maybe how they could save some money too.
Now, the key that we've been discussing, especially with rights programs, is saving the community money. Without programs like this, not only are we beautifying our fair city, but we're also saving our residents money as well.
Right. We're saving money with the design of the program. We're saving money in the cooperation that we're generating, and we're saving money through the partnerships of others contributing towards these programs. So it's fair to say that Wright has done an outstanding job in saving taxpayer dollars and still delivering top quality, high standard programs. And many of these programs, there may be some similarities in other communities, but they're very unique for Forest Park and very unique for municipalities to be undertaken under this region. So we should thank Wright for all the work that he's done, because they're work that exemplify his dedication to the concept of environmental awareness, but also the service to the general community.
Absolutely. We're always thankful to having you on, because you explaining the programs that we do have and things that are coming up. Most people don't get a chance to hear about them, or if they do, they may get a piece of paper, but they don't get to hear the complete explanation. So we always thank you for coming on.
Well, I can't think of a better place to do it than Forest Park.
Absolutely.
They've been very generous in letting me, try to make a mistake or something. So far, I've been very lucky.
Well,
but
you
they've
still
been
have a
very
job.
Exactly. But they've been very
Right.
helpful in letting me do these things.
Now, I will add, some of the concepts he's come up with has caused his job to be questioned, but he's always pulled it off. So we've always been appreciated.
You have produced results that have the
I've been
city
lucky.
has been.
I've been very lucky. Right. Exactly right.
Right, but the last thing I'd say, I think that just shows, even in his role there, he's been a leader, not simply a follower. So thank you, Wright.
Well, thank
Absolutely. I can't end any better than that, right? Thank you for everything that you do. Of course, I always thank you that. And Ray's correct. This is the way the city should be going, and you're the leader.
Well, I appreciate this opportunity to talk on your Waycross media. I mean, this is a jewel in itself. So we're lucky to have y'all in the community as well.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate that. Ray, thank you for bringing everybody on. This was a great program. What a wonderful way for us to start and end summer and kind of get everybody charged. And believe it or not, the next time we read, it's going to be fall. So, and we'll be discussing cleaning up all sorts of things at that point.
They probably will.
But until then, Ray, thank you for joining us. Right, as always, thank you.
It's a pleasure.
And of course, I want to thank you for joining us as well. We've had this opportunity to talk with those in the know in your fair city here on Talking with Forest Park. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next time.